Germany has become the biggest shithole country in Europe. So, if you've been watching the news and if you haven't lived under a rock, well, you already know what's going on, right? So, it seems to me that those different countries like the UK, France, Germany, the US, they're all in sort of a race competition between them, like who's gonna wreck and fucking destroy the country the quickest and fastest by these lunatic leftists who just want to kill us, right? So first of all, not everything is bad about what has happened. I mean, you could say yes, it is, and it's dark and it's awful. But there's also some aspects to this that are useful, at least. Let's call it useful. For example, that there's a lot of moral clarity now. I mean, a lot of guys, and I mean women as well, of course, but I think mostly guys who've been red pilled before. I mean, we were sort of on, many of us were like, okay, so those guys are crazy. I don't agree with what they say, but let's just live and let live, right? So that was sort of the attitude for a lot of guys out there, me included, because I was just trying to focus on doing my founder stories, my podcast, and I don't know, talking about how to be better and how to build a business. And this is what I'm doing. But I think a lot of us have been just, I mean, this was just a reality check, right? A wake up call for us, for a lot of us who are we just got aware that you can't look away anymore. It's becoming increasingly hostile. And to be honest, the left, and this is the left in all of these countries, they just want us dead. That's what's going on. They do not care, and their behavior, like, this is true. I mean, and like, this is true. You never judge a person by what they say, but how they act, right? So we are seeing, and then we can observe in real time what they do when we die. That's what happened. That was so shocking. So the first thing that shocked me so much, and of course it was the assassination of Charlie Kirk and that Ukrainian girl before. But set aside the fact that they just brutally murdered that guy and then even celebrated and mocked his death and still do so to this day. That's all super shocking. But what's even more shocking, and this is the kicker, I think, is that they actually thought that they could get away with it and then nothing would happen, right? So because they actually lived in a bubble where they think in their world they're on the right side of history, and that they are the morally, like, the ones that are the good guys. They think they are the good guys, and they can dance on our graves, on people who have a different opinion and want to engage in open debate and discussing ideas by being respectful, which is what this guy wanted, nothing else. It's not because he's against abortion, or because he's for free speech, or because he thinks that borders have a purpose. Yes, they hate us for those things, but it's because he was good at expressing his opinions and convincing other people, and they do not want that. And now we're getting to the point where I want to make a point where I highlight why this is where Germany is actually the worst of all countries right now. So, first of all, let me show you something that I was watching in the morning.
You can see the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
The more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. Okay, so why am I showing you this? It's because, yes, it's satisfying to see these fuckers lose their jobs, and they should stay in poverty for the rest of their lives, if you ask me. But that's not why I'm showing you this. I'm actually showing you this because this is happening in the US, and it's happening at scale. Like, a lot of people are just now losing their jobs. There are hundreds of videos already being published on TikTok, on X, where these people, they're losing their jobs because people stand up and they said, no, not anymore. We've had enough. This is too much. And they're calling their employers and they're getting fired. But what's the problem? This does not happen in Germany. This is America. America It's really bad. I know it's bad. MSNBC, even that fucker, this one guy who said that, oh, they were probably just celebrating or shooting. There was a shot in celebration that killed Charlie. That idiotic comment he made and the followings comments he made. He got fired for that. And in Germany, that's not happening. In Germany, just yesterday, we had a politician, which is a demon, in my opinion. Her name is Heidi Reicheneck. She's the leader of the left party. And she just, I mean, you need to see her. It's actually a demon. And she's basically just saying that, first of all, she's pushing those lies about Charlie Kirk being murdered by a Republican, that he would force his daughter to it's just complete bogus. Only lies, but that's not the problem. The problem is she can do that on state television and uncontested. There's nobody who tells her, wait a second, this is a lie. It's been debunked already. You can't say that shit on state television to millions of people who listen to this and then just keep on doing it. That's what in Germany, that does not happen. There's no consequences for these people. And there's this other guy 2 days before, Elmar Tevesen. There's this deputy secretary of whatever immigration. I sent him a message and tell him to put this guy on a no-fly list because he openly, in the same show or in another show equally important, Markus Lanz, he said that Charlie Kirk advocated for the stoning of gay people. A total lie, like fucking lie. And then they do this, and then it's uncontested. In Germany, there is no opposition to this. So that is one big difference, because in the US, there is a reckoning already happening because the conservatives, they've had enough. Trump is in office, and then now there is some sort of accountability. Of course, you're not going to get rid of all the lunatics and the insanity of the left. They're always going to be there, but they have to now, there is a reckoning, and the conservatives, they're just not going to take it anymore. Now, in Britain, what we just saw, like 2 days ago on the 13th, 1 million people on the streets, 1 million. So this is not a random, whatever, protest. No, it was a sign of what is about to happen and to come. They're still stuck with the same fucking government, yes, same as in Germany, but the uprise, the opposition is strong now because there were only a few thousand counter protesters, the usual Antifa idiots. But in Britain, they're at the point where they already understood that this is not acceptable anymore, and they're not going to take it anymore. And France, see what happened in France. France is just collapsing, like the government, because they already had won the opposition, the Freedom Party, the right wing party, the Conservatives. They had already won, and they were sort of betrayed, and they sort of made a government against them, and this just collapsed. So there's also something going on. It's not going to last anymore. And in Germany, what is going on in Germany? I mean, the fucking Bundeskanzler hasn't even commented on that. Instead, they're raising trans flags on the government buildings, and they they openly tell us that if you have that opinion, then you're a Nazi and you deserve to die. So this is so insane. I'm so happy I'm registered from Germany. I do not want to live among these people. I certainly don't want them to give any tax money anymore because it's disgusting. And with my new company in the US, I'm not living in the US. I just opened my company, which is, by the way, is a really strategic move, which I didn't even know this is possible. I found a broker who allowed me to open the company. I can operate from the US, even though I don't have a visa yet, just a normal, I can go to the US, but it's a ESTA. It's just a temporary thing. But with my company growing, I can certainly get the legal visa as it should be. And I can also provide some value to these people with my work, right? So I'm not gonna be a fucking parasite to the government and to the land and to the people, right? So, yeah, guys. So I'm just astonished that Germany is in such a sad state right now, and I'm just sorry, I'm between anger and complete disbelief and sadness, and somewhere in between. I haven't recovered yet from it, but here I am publishing this video that has nothing to do with my podcast. But it's, you know what? We have to stand up. Now is the time to say, fuck you guys. Now is the time to say, this is not me. I'm not part of this. You are disgusting and you should shut the fuck up. And we're not violent. You are. And there's only, from where do you go from this? Last thing. There's two options, in my opinion, for guys in Germany, young men who want to be entrepreneurs. You either stand up to this crap and you say no in this country, but then you're gonna face serious opposition. You're likely gonna be shunned from. They're being banned from public spaces, etc. It's really bad. Or you just turn around and walk away and you say, fuck you guys. Elsewhere, there's also opportunities, and not gonna give my tax money anymore to you, and you should rot in hell. And then so you leave and you build something, and then you come back and then you provide for your family, and there's always options, right? There's other countries where people are just wiser, because it's not about education, it's about wisdom, which obviously these guys lack. And so that was my last word. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. Bye.